All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. Um, Today is July 28th, 2016. It is roughly 4 o'clock over here in the U.S., New York time. We're going to be talking about three pairs today: Aussie dollar, uh, USD CAD, and pound dollar. All three of which I took last night. We entered these trades. Um, one of which hit its target later this morning, or I'll say around like 11 o'clock. Um, One of them I kind of bailed out on. It just wasn't going in the direction that I had intended it on going. I also tried to use a different strategy, which I shouldn't have done. And it just totally reversed on me. So I just had to get out. And the third trade we are actively in right now, it's a live trade. So we'll actually start with the trade that I'm in now, the Aussie dollar trade. We got into this trade um, late, or well, earlier this morning. I would say it was nighttime, but it was earlier this morning. We went short in this area of resistance here. As you can see, it bounced up into this area of resistance, went down to support, strong support. You can see over here, by these candles forming over here, just never broke through support. It never broke through support over here. Um, and this area also support. One, two, three strong areas of support, and it just never really broke through. So it bounced up into resistance, hit support again, bounced back up into resistance. Um, this candle formed, and I decided, hey, let's jump back into this trade. Nothing really, you know, showed me any signs that this thing was gonna really break through this resistance area. So I said, let's go short on this and let's see where it goes. Right now, um, we're about 20 pips into this thing. It's going into the right direction. It's kind of stalling out here. It's stalled here for the past few hours or so. Probably just because of this area in here. I like to kind of call that some minor support. But like I said, trades usually don't just run up and run straight down. Sometimes you'll hit a little bit of a wall in here, and then it'll usually continue its movement downward, or sometimes it'll reverse. So I'm just kind of just waiting around to see where this thing goes. And this is based off of just price action, just watching the price and how many times this price reaches into this area of resistance. So far so good this week. We're up over around 400 pips. It's Thursday today, so we're looking to collect a few more. So I'm going to definitely be keeping my eye on this and monitoring this trade as we move forward. I don't want to really go too much into depth. This strategy is fairly easy. A beginner can pick up on it, and kind of go through the do's and don'ts of price action movement. But you just kind of have to, it's more so just trial and error, and feeling comfortable with, where your entry points are and where your stops are. Like I said, I usually like to set my stops, anywhere from around 10 to, maybe 20 pips is pushing it above the wick of the previous candle, which would be right here. So, we have let's see, we got about we got about 43 more pips to go before we hit our target. So we will see where that goes. Like I said, this is a live trade right here. We are actively in this trade. I took it around like I want to say 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And so as you can see, it's heading in the right direction. So far, so good. Let's talk about the trade that didn't work out. We got into this trade last night. This trade really didn't make any sense to me. I don't know why I took this trade, but for some apparent reason, I saw this trend building. I set my trend lines. It broke. This candle broke through the trend line. This candle developed. And for some reason, I just had a feeling that this thing was just going to continue on a downward movement. Um, I set an area of support right here, which it made perfect sense. I set another area of support down here, which made sense. It tested one, two, three, uh, 4 times, 5 times right in here. So I figured that would be a good spot to, maybe we'll get in here. Obviously, this trend, broke through right around here. Let's see if we can squeeze a few more pips out of this. I entered on this candle right up around here. I was going to try to see if we can get, another 60 or so pips out of that. Well, as soon as I entered about an hour and a half to 2 hours into the trade, this thing just kind of reversed and went the opposite way. And, at that point, I just kind of knew it wasn't going to go in my favor. So we just backed out of it. That was a failed trade. Not price action at all. Not a price action strategy at all. Only took a 16 pip loss. And it is what it is. So that was that. Uh, Pound USD, we took this trade last night around 11 o'clock. We got into this trade. It was a perfect setup. I had my eye on it for quite a while. And, same thing with the, Aussie dollar. We saw it, come up here into resistance, and, it kind of went down to this area of support and then bounced up to this little minor area I like to call this minor resistance area. Dip back down into support, bounce back up into this minor area, dip down again, and then pop back up through to my original area of resistance. And, um, this candle kind of, with there not being any, upper wick to this candle at all, just really, gave me the, you know, gave me that option to really, go short on this. There was really essentially nothing pushing this candle upward. It just kind of developed. There's no wick at all, and it was just moving downward. So, I set my stops and my limits accordingly. We got in. This thing ran downward, kind of consolidated with this candle, rushed back upward, came back down. Another candle formed, drove the price back down, closed, drove the price back down a little bit, and, just ran all the way down here um to my limit. And, we collected around 90 pips profit on this trade. So, this was very good for us. And as you can see, it ran back up, and, it's moving in opposite directions, kind of settling in this area. We'll kind of see where it goes from here, but it would have been nice to really try to, get back into this trade and take a move upward. But, I wasn't, I was not running around taking care of some other business. And, it's a shame. It's a shame. But, still a great setup, still a great trade. And, I'll take 90 pips any day. So one winner, one big winner, one small loser. And we are currently in a trade right now, Aussie dollar, that is moving into the direction that I have intended it on moving. Just continue to trade smart. Follow me at the residual group underscore EST 2016, and you can email me at trgroup610 at gmail.com. Catch you guys on the flip side. See you later.